Hello, welcome to Poolside Chat presented by InyoPools.com. I'm Rob.
And I'm Matt. Our Q&A show is focused on answering questions we receive from pool owners through our website. With that being said, our first question is from Vincent. He is receiving a leak from around the handle of his multi-port valve. He wants to know which O-ring he should replace. Rob?
Well, Vincent, on the shaft of the valve, there's tiny O-rings about maybe an inch in diameter and washers. And typically when those go bad, that's when you get the leaking out of the handle of the valve. If you were seeing leaking from the backwash line, it would be your spider gasket. Anything else?
Spider gasket is basically looks like a big wagon wheel, or I'd say like a 5 to 6 inch wagon wheel at the base of the valve. Once you pop off the key cover handle assembly from the 6 or 8 screws, you're going to see the little pinwheel at the bottom, or it's going to be attached to the diverter itself. That pretty much just makes sure all the water is diverted to the right place. So if your water is going out the backwash when you're on filter, that's the issue. With the water coming out the top of the cover, or right around the handle, it's going to be those inch wide little stem O-rings, or would you say that the Teflon ring or possibly the spring is kind of out of place? You may have to kind of adjust that. It's not an easy fix because you have to put it all back together, and he's done it quite a few times. If you have to get all that stuff back onto it, you have to compress that spring and then also find a way to tap the handle back into the stem of the diverter. If you're an orangutan, we will be super great at that. If you are not, and you are mere humans like Rob and myself, you will need a second person. But that should answer that question.
Very in-depth.
Thank you. I try to be as helpful as possible. Him, not so much. Our second question is from George. He states he needs to replace a 10-year-old B2-842, a 1.5 horsepower full rated motor. He wants to know what his variable speed options will be in going forward. Rob?
Okay, well, the variable speed motors are rated in total horsepower. So you usually have a 1.65 or a 2.7 horsepower variable speed motor. So we have to look at that total horsepower, that 1.5 horsepower that George has. He has a full rated 1.5 horsepower, which has a 1.47 service factor. And to get the total horsepower, you multiply those two numbers together. So the 1.5 times 1.47 comes out to 2.21. That's off the top of my head.
Yeah, good math.
Didn't have that written down.
Not at all. Not at all.
So since he has a 2.21 total horsepower motor, he wants a motor that's equal to or greater than that total horsepower. So he'd obviously go with the 2.7 variable speed motor, which is the ECM 27 SQU by Century.
Variable speeds also are great for a few different reasons. They save you money 2 different ways. Actually, 3 different ways. First way is you depending on where you live, you may get a rebate from your electric company. Could be $100, $200, maybe more bucks if you switch out a single speed for a variable speed. Second option is they're just more energy efficient because you can change the RPMs on it. So instead of running it at full speed all the time with single speed, you can bust it down to 1,000 RPMs, just run the pool pump a little bit longer to get through your water at the same amount of time, and you're going to be saving money there too. Also, in terms of longevity, variable speed motors are built like a rock. I would say built like a Ford,
yes.
Ford F-150.
Yes.
They are super durable. Instead of the standard induction coils where you have a copper binding or copper windings that are really susceptible to heat, it's a magnet-driven drive shaft, so they aren't going to burn out like your single speed or your dual speed. So instead of having to replace a motor every 2 to 4 years, you should hopefully maybe once every 10 years, maybe more. So that's a threefold in saving your money. But that should do it for Georgia's question. We can only do 2 at a time because we get tired. We need to take naps.
We don't retain much knowledge either.
No. There's a lot of research into this. That was at least 3 weeks worth. He wasn't writing it down. I'm not putting it to a notepad with his notes on it at all. But thank you for viewing. It's been fun as always. He's Riggs. I'm Murtaugh, aka the good-looking one. You can always contact us at 877-372-6038. That's our toll-free line. Or you can email us at upload@inyopools.com. And there's also at the top of our website, there's a contact support line. You can email there too directly. But thank you for viewing, and it's been fantastic. Bye.
Bye.